So it all started with this, which quickly turned into this. I have been an avid Windows PC and Android user since Windows and Android became a thing. I don't or didn't have previous Apple experience with any Apple products, except for a little bit of desktop publishing when I was a young college lad back in the day. Primarily a Windows PC enthusiast. I had a computer store back in Europe. I've been building, fixing, repairing, living the PC and Android life for forever. I made the switch to Apple exactly 1 year ago. Let me tell you how that switch went and where I'm at today with what my workflow needs and what I'm currently using. This is an interesting one. This is a very, very detailed, in-depth why I switched and what am I still using, comprehensive overview video of a long-term Windows and Android user switching to an entire Apple ecosystem. Stick around, let's get into it. Hello everybody and welcome. My name is UK and today I'm going to talk about my pretty long last full year of switching everything over from Windows and Android over to Apple. And it's been an experience, let me tell you that much. It all started here, the humble beginnings with my Airpods Pro 2nd gen. So this was the first Apple product I went out and purchased a year ago. Actually, no, I purchased these about 2 years ago. And I think this was the product that opened the door. This was the gateway drug into the Apple ecosystem. You see, what happened was I got the AirPods, and being a bit of an audio snob, I just fell in love with these things. I had all kinds of wireless earbuds, over-ear headphones, you name it. The sound quality, the isolation, the transparency, the noise cancelling, everything about these was better than anything I'd ever used, ever, period, end of. These were the best headphones I'd ever used, and I loved them. However, I couldn't update the firmware for them. I didn't own an iPhone, and I couldn't borrow an iPhone off anybody to update the firmware on them to get some of the new features that were released. Let's get an iPhone. We got an iPhone, got the iPhone 14 Pro. This was a pretty huge leap coming from, I was a Pixel user. I had the Google Pixel line all the way from the original up through 6 Pro. I ended up going from the Google Pixel 6 Pro to the iPhone 14 Pro, primarily because I wanted to get the most out of these and further test the waters of this ecosystem. And you know what? The transition wasn't too bad. I could use all of the same Google services on the iPhone. I could use my Gmail, all of my Google accounts, everything that I was using software-wise on the Android phone, on the Pixel, transferred kind of seamlessly over to the iPhone, and that was great. And I was able to upgrade the firmware, get my AirPods going. You know, life was good, but could it get better? That's where we get the watch. I was going through a bit of a fitness phase, and I had tried the Pixel Watch. I had the older Samsung Galaxy wearable. So I've a bit of experience with wearables, and everybody and their mother says the Apple Watches, they're the best watches on the planet. And I didn't want to go too deep. I didn't want to go for the Ultra. I tend to buy and sell and trade electronics quite a lot. And I didn't want to go too deep in case I would have to resell it and then obviously lose a lot of that upfront cost. So the Apple Watch I got the 2nd generation Apple Watch SE just to kind of test the waters with it. Still using that to this day. Love this thing. I actually bought this one used on Mercari for a deal. I got like the extra straps, and I got some cases, and I got all kinds of stuff because I bought it used. It was as good as new. She'd only used it for a week. It smelled a little bit of perfume, but that went away after a while. So we had the watch, we had the phone, we had an ecosystem, and I was still using a Windows desktop PC. And I felt like, you know, everybody talks about how good AirDrop is. You know, everybody talks about all of these Mac, iPhone ecosystem settings that I'm potentially missing out on. So logically, the next step, we get a Mac Studio. This time, I didn't hold back. This time I would essentially bought the best of what I would need for my purposes, and that was with the M2 Max. It is the newest version of the M2 chip available in a Mac Studio. And for the first month, I was in Apple heaven. Oh boy, my phone, my watch, my earbuds, everything connecting seamlessly, everything switching between everything seamlessly. What a time to be alive. It was incredible. However, I'm also a bit of a nerd and I like to play video games. Now, I'm a web developer, I'm an SEO guy, I do a lot of video editing and stuff like that. The Mac Studio is just, it's a monster when it comes to video editing, to music production, photo editing, Photoshop, all the Adobe suite. Absolutely just the best piece of hardware I've used for that type of workflow, hands down. And I've had some very, very, very high-end, high-spec Windows-based PCs. The M2 Max just ate through everything I threw at it. However, the reason I went with the M2 Max is because I wanted to, do all of that work, have all of the ecosystem play nice together, but I also play video games, and I wanted one system to do everything. This wasn't the case. The M2 Mac Studio, while on paper has perfectly good enough spec for the type of games that I play, native games, unless they're one of the the small selection of games in the Mac library of native Mac games, it's not a fun experience. I had no joy whatsoever trying to play pretty much any of my games in a usable way on the M2 Max. So where am I today? Well, I still have the watch. The phone is still my daily driver. I don't think I'm ever going to switch back to Android. There are too many things that I love about Apple that they do really well that overshadow the additional functionality you would get and openness of the Android system. I just think Apple does the things that it does so well, it overcompensates for the extra you get being in the Android space, just for me personally. The Apple Watch is going off like crazy. I'm getting all kinds of notifications while I am recording this video. Again, I love the Apple Watch SE 2nd gen. It's small, lightweight, battery lasts all day. Sometimes I can get 2 days out of it if I'm not doing any kind of fitness tracking or anything like that. Super useful, tap and pay. So if you forget your phone and you're at a store that has NFC, you can pay using Apple Pay with your watch. Absolutely love the watch, love the phone. Still using the AirPods Pros 2nd gen to this day. Still think they're the best earphones I've ever had. M2 Mac Studio, currently for sale. It's on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. I cannot have two systems. It's too much. I have a limited amount of desk space. I want to be able to do the work that I need to do and then the games I want to play in a singular system. And I think Apple will get there. I think the next generation of Mac hardware is going to be a lot more focused towards gaming. I think they started with the GamePod toolkit, and they started kind of making strides towards capturing some of that gamer market. But it's 25% of my life, of my computing life, and not being able to have that on the machine that I'm doing all my other things on, that's a deal breaker for me. So Apple, if you're watching this, please figure out a way to play all games natively on your OS, in your system, and you will completely dominate Windows PCs. Bring your prices down for memory and and hard drive expansion, because that stuff is crazy. I don't know where you're getting the prices for that. Okay, I'm rambling a little, so I'll end it here. A quick recap of my complete hardware switch from Windows PC and Android over to a complete Apple ecosystem. I'm still 1 year later using almost all Apple products except for the Mac Studio. And for obvious reasons, until things change, that's how it's going to be for me. I hope this video was useful or helpful. If so, consider leaving a like down below, make that button flash. Leave a comment, let me know how you got on with your Switch, or if you're thinking of switching. If you have any questions about switching, drop me a comment. I'll be happy to respond down there. Until the next time, I've been UK, you've been fantastic. I'll see you in the next one.